We are learning to use our plan to guide our writing. This is the circle map that we made yesterday after watching and reading an article about pollution in the Waikato River. We're going to use this circle map today to help us guide our writing. The first thing I want to tell the reader is what I'm writing about. So I'm going to look at all the ideas that are about what. This one here, foamy discharge, that's about what happened. This one here, pollution, is also about what. Chemical smell, that's another one that's about what. Like icebergs, that's another one. So I'm going to use those 4 ideas in my beginning sentences. Here's what I've written. There has been a foamy discharge in the Waikato River. The pollution has a chemical smell and it looks like icebergs floating on the river. I want you to stop your video now and go and write your first sentences about what happened. Once you've written them, stop and come back to the video again. Well done. Now you should have written about what the news article was about. Next I'm going to write about who has been affected. So that's these ideas here. I'm going to include them in my next bit of writing. Here's what I've written. People living near the river are upset about the discharge. Ducks won't swim near the discharge and people can't let their dogs swim there because they might get sick. Fish living in the river could also be harmed by the discharge. Now I want you to stop the video and go and write your next part of your story about who has been affected. Come back to the video when you have finished writing your next part. The next part of my story is about why people think there has been this discharge. So that's this idea here that there's lots of rain, and this idea here that there's mud in the pipes. I'm going to use these 2 ideas for the next part of my writing. And this is what I've written. People think the discharge might be from mud in the pipes, or it could be because there has been a lot of rain lately. Now I want you to stop the video again and go and write your next part about why there has been the discharge. Once you've written that part, come back to the video to see what to do next. The last thing I'm going to write about is how they are dealing with the problem. So that's this idea here, investigating what it is, doing samples and doing inquiries. I'm going to use those ideas for my last part of my writing. And this is what I've written. People have taken samples of the water and are testing it to try and find out what the foamy discharge is. Now I want you to go away and write the last part of your story about how they are dealing with it. Go and do that now. And when you finish writing it, come back to the movie. Well done, you have written your first news article. The first part of your news article should tell people what it is about. The next part of your news article should tell people who has been affected. The third part of your news article should tell people why they think it has happened. And the last part of your news article should tell people how they are dealing with it. what, who, why, and how. If you've included all these things in your writing, you've done a fantastic job. Well done.